Module Overview. Food safety is the cornerstone of public health and consumer protection in agribusiness. It ensures that food produced, processed, and sold for human consumption is free from biological, chemical, and physical hazards. In the context of agribusiness, compliance with food safety laws and quality control regulations is not just a legal requirement, but also a strategic necessity for domestic credibility, international market access, consumer trust, and brand reputation. This module offers a deep dive into the legal frameworks governing food safety and quality control, including national food safety statutes, international standards like Codex Alimentarius, HACCP systems, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, traceability systems, risk based inspection protocols, labeling laws, food handling regulations, and the roles of oversight agencies. Given the rise in foodborne diseases, globalization of food supply chains, and heightened consumer awareness, agribusinesses that fail to adhere to food safety laws risk severe penalties, reputational damage, product recalls, export bans, and even litigation. Thus, understanding and implementing these legal and regulatory protocols is essential for all stakeholders in the agricultural value chain, from primary producers to processors, distributors, retailers, and exporters. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, you should be able to understand the principles and objectives of food safety regulation in agribusiness, identify the legal responsibilities of agribusiness entities under food safety law, explain the legal foundations of hazard analysis and critical control points, HACCP, comprehend food quality control standards, procedures, and enforcement mechanisms, apply sanitary and phytosanitary SPS measures to ensure safe trade in agri products, navigate domestic and international food safety compliance frameworks, understand food traceability systems and their legal implications, analyze labeling and packaging laws from a regulatory perspective, understand the role of government agencies, inspectors, and courts in food safety enforcement. Introduction to Food Safety and Law. Definition of food safety: the assurance that food will not cause harm to the consumer when prepared and or eaten according to its intended use. Legal basis for regulating food safety: public health, consumer protection, trade requirements, and economic stability. Categories of food hazards: biological, bacteria, parasites, chemical, pesticides, toxins, physical, glass, metal fragments. Legal consequences of unsafe food: fines, imprisonment, business closure, civil litigation, export suspension. National food safety laws and regulatory bodies: Nigeria, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, National Food Safety Management Committee, USA, Food Safety Modernization Act, FSMA, overseen by FDA and USDA. India, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, FSSAI. EU, Regulation EC number 178/2002, and the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, food safety inspections, permits, product registration, and certifications. Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point HACCP system. HACCP as a legal and scientific system for ensuring food safety. Legal adoption of HACCP in processing plants, restaurants, and food exports. 7 principles of HACCP: conduct a hazard analysis, determine critical control points, CCPs, establish critical limits, monitor CCPs, establish corrective actions, establish verification procedures, establish record keeping and documentation legal requirements for HACCP compliance, audits, and training. Food quality standards and control regulations. Definition of food quality versus food safety. Legal standards for appearance, taste, nutritional content, contaminants, shelf life, and packaging. Grading systems and quality benchmarks in cereals, vegetables, fruits, meat, and dairy. Product conformity assessments and third-party certifications. Government-mandated recall protocols and destruction of substandard products. Sanitary and phytosanitary SPS measures. SPS measures as legal tools to protect animal, plant, and human life from disease and contaminants. Legal alignment with the WTO SPS agreement. Sanitary measures applied to food safety, e.g., meat inspection, milk pasteurization. Phytosanitary measures focused on plant health, e.g., quarantine, pest control. Domestic enforcement and international trade obligations under SPS law. Food labeling, packaging, and traceability laws. Labeling requirements, product name, ingredients, expiry date, batch number, allergen information, nutritional values, certification logos, legal frameworks for front of pack, FOP labeling, health claims, organic labels, GMOS, packaging laws for food grade material, contamination prevention, tamper evidence, traceability requirements under food laws, track and trace systems, barcoding, record keeping, recall preparedness, international food safety standards and agreements. Codex Alimentarius, Joint FAO/WHO Food Standards, Codes of Practice, and Guidelines. WTO's Technical Barriers to Trade, TBT, and SPS agreements. ISO 22000 Food Safety Management Systems, Global GAP, and private standards in international food supply chains. Equivalence and harmonization principles in global trade. Enforcement, penalties, and legal liability. Types of enforcement: administrative, fines, closure, criminal prosecution, civil damages. Role of government inspectors, laboratories, consumer advocacy groups. Case examples of major food scandals and legal consequences. Whistleblowing, compliance audits, and legal redress mechanisms. Emerging legal issues in food safety. Food fraud and mislabeling, e.g., adulteration, counterfeiting. Genetically modified organism regulations. Nanotechnology in food production. Blockchain for food traceability and legal recognition. Impact of climate change on food safety regulations. Case studies and practical scenarios. China's milk scandal, 2008. Legal reforms on food additives and stricter penalties. Horse meat scandal in Europe, 2013. Labeling laws and consumer trust issues. Nigeria's tomato paste imports. Quality concerns and NAFDAC's regulatory clampdown. Export bans in Kenya. Non-compliance with EU pesticide residue limits. COVID-19 impact. Emergency legal measures for food safety in global supply chains. Key takeaways. Food safety is both a legal requirement and a social responsibility. HACCP and SPS measures are foundational to food law compliance. Traceability and transparency are mandatory in modern agri-food supply chains. Failure to comply with food safety regulations attracts severe legal penalties and damages business credibility. Agribusinesses must align with domestic regulations and international standards to maintain operational and export viability.